Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Hey, it's been a while. It's been a long while, actually. Things have been busy, but we're getting ready for the season here in Ontario. Pretty excited. Got a few things going on. Right now, we're going to just get the 350 ready. Not much to do on this beast. Going to switch around some body work because I'm rebuilding my 300 from the frame up. So the 350 is just getting a bit of a cosmetic refresh, as it were, and then we'll be on to the 300, but should have lots of content to come, beta focused obviously, but yeah, we'll get the 350 ready to go here, and then we'll look at the 300. All right, first thing we're gonna do is replace this red fender with a blue fender, because this red fender is gonna go on to the 300, and I wanted to try something new. All right, so here's the blue one. Now, I definitely will be doing some maintenance on the 350 in the near future here, but for right now, I'm just changing up some of the body work. But all of the suspension is going to come off the 350 in the very near future for a full service. I actually plan to do that. I have all the tools ordered. I'm going to give that a go by myself. Doesn't look overly difficult. The 350 is all stock for the suspension. Super happy with how it feels. Again, I have KYB worked suspension on my 300, and in all honesty, the stock on the 350, I don't know why, can't tell you why, just seems to work extremely well, and I'm very happy with it, so I'm just going to keep it on there. But yeah, today's just a little bit of a bodywork swap so that I have the plastics off the 350 ready to start going on to the 300 as soon as I get my engine back. So that's all I'm waiting on is the engine, and then it'll be ready to go. But I think that's going to look pretty cool. All right, so there's the blue fender on. I like it. We're going to keep moving. I got new tank shrouds, a new tail section, and some blue fork guards. So let's see what those look like. You can see I have some neoprene sleeves on there. That's because, and you can see the studded tires. The 350 did see a little bit of winter use this year. Quite a bit, actually. Not too bad. It wasn't a horrible season, but just wasn't a massive priority this year. So, but we're going to get these blue fork guards on. I'm going to swap the tires out and put the summer rims and tires back on as well while I'm at it. But like I said, I'm not looking to disassemble anything on the 350 right now because the garage is already dirty enough, and there are parts everywhere because I have a 300 stripped all the way to the frame. Frame went to the powder coaters, and it's black now, which I think is going to look pretty cool once I get around to it. I don't mind using an impact to pull stuff off, but I tend not to like to use it to tighten stuff up. So this is a bit slower right now as we get stuff buttoned up, but I think the blue is going to look pretty cool. You guys will have to let me know what you think when it's all done here. Make sure you take the opportunity to clean everything up when you're taking stuff off like that. Might as well do it now. One thing about riding in the winter though is it actually tends to keep the bike pretty clean if you look after it. There's always the risk of salt and stuff like that, but I'm a huge fan of the Beta Racing graphics. So I'm actually just using stock graphics this year. I'll do, my number plates in black background, white numbers, but yeah, other than that, it'll be just stock. And I'm going to add some Pete Sales and Service decals to my bike as well, because they are primarily the one company that I can always depend on. So I will continue to shout out to them. Now make sure you use the right self-tapping kind of bolts here because I have put different ones in here because some beta models have self-tappers made to go into plastic, but they're made for different tail sections. And so I always check to make sure that you don't puncture the plastic on the far side here, because you certainly don't want the ends of these bolts or screws to come out the mudguard on the other side and be basically scratching your fork tubes. All right, so I just wanted to show the difference there so you can see. You see where it's red on the other, where it's red and where it's blue. So those are just different model year plastics, and really the decals are the same, which I think actually looks really good on this one. But basically where the plastic is red on one, it's blue on the other. So you got this center part, blue and red. The decal kits that you buy come with all the decals you need for right here, so you can swap them out. So where it says 350 4T on this one, I'll change it to a 300 because all of these plastics are going on to the 300. And the brand new plastics and new decal kits are going on the 350. Why? Just because the 350 always looks fresh. It always looks so good. And I want to keep it that way with the impact. And even then, wipe the tank down. Don't need much. Man, I like it. Look at that. Yep, looks good. All right, let's get the tail section off. Got a little bit more cleaning to do on this one, I think. And as a matter of fact, I'm probably going to cut out here because I don't think I can wholeheartedly put this back together without giving this a wipe down. So for right now, it'll be kind of a WD-40 quick wipe down just to get some of this caked on dirt off under the tail and kind of like get in there. Caught on something. Okay, there's that. New tail section's in. I didn't get a new side panel. Not sure if I'll regret that. Hope not. Yeah, so no new side panel for this bike. So unfortunately, the colors do start to dull a little bit, but I mean, get some new bike in a can on there and I think it'll look fine. Okay, I like to have a microfiber cloth because then I can just squeeze out the air bubbles as I go. So what we want to do is try to keep this aligned as we move. I got a hair dryer to warm it up. Makes the vinyl bend a little better. You don't want to stretch it too much, because if you stretch it too much, it's going to come over this lip here, and that's the problem when you heat it up. When you heat it up, you can get this stretch on it, and you don't want necessarily the stretch. You want the heat so that you can get it into and curve it around certain areas, but you don't want to stretch. And you'll notice even as you work it that it's gonna stretch anyway. For me anyway, every single time I do this, I find I get to a certain area and realize that even though I haven't applied any significant heat, just the action of working the vinyl and kind of pulling it taut means I end up with a little bit extra on the far side. So I'm really trying to avoid that because I don't have much room to play on this one. Okay, look at that. Lined up pretty good, I would say. I always go over it with some heat. So that's that. There's the protective film off. Get that off. Don't need to leave that on the trails because that's exactly where it will fall off, but looks good. All right, studs are off. Summer wheel, front wheel is going back on right now. One of the things that I always do whenever I replace rims and stuff like that is I always grease the wheel bearings. I feel like a lot of people act like you can't grease them. I mean, you certainly can't, without pulling them, you know, do a full repack and get all the old grease out, so on and so forth. But you can certainly take the seals out and give them a wipe down and pack, you know, by hand some new grease in there. And, you know, knock on wood, on my 21, I still am using the original wheel bearings. Same with all my linkage bearings and everything. So I grease that stuff multiple times a season. And it seems to be working for me, but I do that every single time. So I'm going to get this buttoned up and then we'll get the back tire on. Some people think this is overkill as well, but I don't touch my bike for myself without a torque wrench. I do not have the skill or the experience to do it without a torque wrench. And I have actually seen these lugs break. Certainly I've seen a pair on the Sachs forks break for sure. I don't know about the KYBs, but I don't want it to be me. There we go, all buttoned up.